Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. This is Tina. She has been in the field of marketing and finance for 23 years. She's passionate about this field because she struggled not being able to help other people in departments to increase their productivity without causing trouble. Her ideal audience needs help fixing their most costly broken process so they have more time in their day to make more money. She loves to help people feel empowered to make educated decisions, and when she speaks and teaches them how to identify and stop making those money leaks. Thank you so much, Tina, for joining us. How are you doing today?
Awesome, Becky. Thank you for having me today. It's a pleasure
Yeah,
being
thank
here.
you for carving out your time and coming to share more about your story and your insights about fear and how you overcome that kind of stuff. So we're really excited to dive in and hear more from you. Let's just start out by you telling us something interesting about you and your life.
Well, I guess one of the things that a lot of people don't know about me is my mom had German measles when she was pregnant for me. So I had many health issues when I was little. And I had open heart surgery when I was a year and 2 months. So as a child, I was always told that, you're lucky to be alive, which I
Wow.
was. Most kids that had my problems didn't end up having the surgery early enough, or it wasn't as successful as mine was. And I was told, my parents were told that I would never be able to run and play with other kids or be able to do anything. And my parents never put those limitations on me. They just let me be, and I never had a problem. When I was 8 years old, the doctors told me to go have a great life. And I never seen another cardiologist until I was in my 40s. And what was really funny about that is she's like, "What do you mean you haven't seen a cardiologist?" And I'm like, "They told me to go have a great life, so I have been." And so she ordered all these tests and she did two of them and she said, "Get out of here, you're fine." I said, "I told you that." So, but I didn't realize that I internalized "I'm lucky to be alive" into "I don't deserve anymore. I don't deserve to be abundant. I don't deserve to be in a loving relationship and all the things that go with it because I'm just lucky to be alive." And so facing that and really actually realizing that that was part of my thinking, I've been able to change that. And it's been amazing, the transformations that have been coming up in my life since then.
Yes. Wow. So you were teeny tiny baby and
Yeah.
having surgery and you don't remember, do you remember anything about it or just the
No.
story?
No, I remember nothing. There's stories that they've told about it that one of my kind of joke. I have a couple jokes about it. So I had a hole in my heart, and they put in a piece of Teflon. So I say I have a nonstick heart. That's one of my jokes. And then the other one that was that this one's true was kind of funny. I was still nursing on the bottle. I didn't want to eat, so I was a year and 2 months, which is kind of old for most kids to not be eating, and I wouldn't eat. So they, before I had the surgery, they hadn't seen me have one of my seizures that I would go into. I was down at the University of Michigan Hospital, Mott's Children's Hospital, and I was there for approximately 3 weeks. And they decided before they knew I was going to have surgery, I was going to eat. So they put me in a big room with a big tarp and gave me food. And by 3 days, I was eating. But I had the last laugh because then I had surgery and I got my bottle back. So I drink beer out of the bottle and I say I'm still a bottle baby.
That's awesome. What's your favorite beer?
Oh, I have a few
Or
different
are you
ones.
a craft
Probably my
beer?
go-to is what I'm just kind of a plain and simple Miller Lite. I like Spotted Cow. I like different things, but um, Stella's pretty good. But I come from
Do you,
Upper Michigan. I'm good with 64 or whatever you give me. I pretty much will drink,
yeah. Do you
unless
do
it's
you
dark.
ever go try new beers? Like go to breweries and try any of the different flavors that breweries might
Yeah, I
have?
do. I work with. I actually, one of my clients is also brewing, and
Cool.
down in Plover, so I go down there every once in a while and try some of their new stuff. I also work volunteer for the Point Back Run, And Point Brewery always has a bunch of different beers, and I
Yeah.
do one in the spring and in Point Oktoberfest as well. So they always have new beers out. So I do like some of the fruitier flavored ones. Not I can only have like one, but
Yeah.
it's sweet. But yeah, I love some of them. Yeah, they're very
That's
good.
cool. So I like asking people so that they know too, like, or so the viewers know. So you say that you're from Upper Michigan. Where do you live now?
I now live in Stevens Point, Wisconsin,
Okay.
which is almost the center of the state,
Yeah.
approximately.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So in case anyone didn't know where Plover was, it's somewhere in central Wisconsin here.
Right.
So
It is.
yes. Awesome. Cool. So okay, we're gonna start talking more about fears and continuing that conversation. So tell us about a significant time in your life that you can remember fear holding you back from living your life fully.
Oh, wow. There's lots of them. One of them was I was in a marriage that I just wasn't happy with, but I didn't know how I was going to support myself, so I didn't leave. And I didn't want to run my business and get it productive because I was afraid that my ex, if I left him, would take part of my business. So I
Mm,
just did nothing with it. I kept it as a hobby, and it's continuously held me back. The day I made the decision to actually leave him and told my family about it, um, I had an opportunity to do a temporary job for a local company, and that opened up my support system. So I've learned that letting go of things opens new doors all the time, and I am a kind of a go with the flow person, so I
yeah,
always say it'll work out one way or another, however it's
right.
meant to be. I'm normally not a big worrier, but I do notice that I've internalized a lot of things and that I don't realize they're holding me back until after I see it, and then I can look back and say, oh my, yeah, that was bad. I should have done something about it earlier.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we just don't know the things that we know until we know them, you know. We're just kind
Yeah,
of got our blinders on and going with it. The everyday things just come up and we're just like, oh, okay, that's just my life. That's just how it is.
right,
Until we, like you said, you have some situation that makes you turn around and like pay attention to how you got to that point and how you get to those thoughts and really bringing them full circle to really having the realizations of what you need to do to fix those situations and move forward in a positive way. So
right.
it's great to hear like you see like the difference and you got out of that bad relationship for yourself and started getting more positive about it. So when the fear was holding you down during that time, where were you mentally and how did you feel about yourself at that time?
Oh, yeah. Mentally, I felt closed-minded. I couldn't see a way out. I couldn't, you're just stuck in your own thoughts and your own negativity is what it
Yeah,
really boils down to. And I was not a happy person, and I know I have to make myself happy. Nobody else can do that for me. And when I left that relationship, I was able to open up a lot more. I've had a lot of support. I have business coaches. I'm in a mastermind, and although I've never had that support in the past, I didn't realize it existed. I didn't know there was a
right.
lot of positivity out there, and really learning to embrace change. I'm a change agent. I always have been, but not really realizing that I wasn't changing my own thoughts, and that was holding me back.
Yeah, and that's huge. Saying it and doing it are two different things. We
Right.
say what we want, but it's really if we're willing to make the move to take the action and make it a reality and do that for ourselves, which is the biggest hurdle of fear for anything, whether it's something small or a big shift like a whole relationship change and changes your whole life. So
Right.
so yeah, that's a great point too. So So when you were breaking free of, your relationship and making the realization of, I need to make this change for myself and make myself happy, and you were moving in the new directions, how did your relationships and friendships change in your life during that time? I mean, obviously your husband, that one changed, but other than that, like what
Well,
other
what's actually funny is my ex-husband and I are probably better friends now than we were. We could not talk at that time.
Yeah.
And he's a good man. I have no, it was me. I wasn't happy. And a lot of it was I had my first husband passed away, and I think I ran away at that time. And this was convenient, and it was what I needed at the time. And I embraced what it was, but I should have never taken it to the next level that I did. And that's okay. And I've forgiven myself for doing that to me and to him. And just I'm super happy for him because he has a great girlfriend now. I love her. And it's I'm still in contact with his daughter and her family. And it's for me, I'm not a materialistic person. I left him with just about everything, and I paid to get out. I just wanted out. I really didn't, I didn't care
Yeah.
about the things. Things are not important to me. Things can be replaced. But people in our lives can't. And so other relationships have strengthened as well. I've never really had a lot of girlfriends, so I have quite a few more now, at least that I do stuff with. And so it's broadened my horizons to a lot of new things and opportunities that are out there in life that I didn't look at before.
Yeah, absolutely. And every time I talk about this, I always picture a garden. Like we have to pull the weeds for better things to like grow. And that's exactly how I feel about removing ourselves from negative situations that just are not filling our cups, and then building the space that you can find mentorships and friendships and girlfriends to like hang out and do stuff with. So yeah, that's an amazing part that I love about what you said, is that, now you have the space to have those things, and you didn't really know it was even an option until you got rid of the negative part of it. And the fact that you are not a materialistic person, I resonate with that very much. I'm all about doing stuff, having fun, making memories with people you love, instead of worrying about what new pair of shoes you have.
Exactly.
And the other thing too is like how you said money. It's really interesting how you were like, oh, money is not important. I paid to get out. I wanted my happiness or happiness. Like if you're not happy in your head, there's no amount of money that's going to fix that. Even if you were a millionaire, the millionaires that aren't happy, I mean, look at celebrities that have committed suicide, that they have everything materialistic they could probably ever want or they at their disposal, and they're still unhappy and not fulfilled for life because of the relationships around them.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing that I heard too was that first your fear was that you wouldn't have money for your business, and then you were like, well, I just need to get rid of this and just start fresh.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know, I heard both those things, and I was like, oh, it's really interesting how your fear was starting not wanting your business and stuff to grow because of the component that he could take everything from you, and then in the end you were like, let's just give you everything and call it quits and move on.
Yeah, that is true, because it's kind of, now that you say that, I guess I was afraid of the money portion, and yet I put myself in debt to get out, and it's like,
yeah,
it's okay. And as an accountant, I kind of also realized that looking at myself and thinking, oh my goodness, I should know better than to put myself in debt. I am right now more in debt than I have ever been. And it is freaky scary for me, but yet at the same time, I know within a year I am going to have this paid off. I am jumping with both feet into my business, and I know I can help people, and I know they need what I do. And
Yeah.
it's so much fun being able to go into a business and look at what they're doing and say, okay, what if we did this, this, and this? And I can free up 2 hours per week for you. You know, do you realize
Yeah.
how much 2 hours a week, if it, at 1 hour a week is 6.5 weeks of time a year? And
Right.
I've done that several times with many clients and other businesses that I used to work in. I would always do it, but when I was in the accounting field in the bigger corporations, I would always get in trouble because I was out of that tower, and I would just go do it because
Yeah.
I didn't want to try to go through the bureaucracy of fixing it. So I'd just fix it, and I'd
Yeah.
let the chips fall, and I'd get yelled at. And then they would figure out how much money they were making because of what I did. And then my boss would take the credit. So it's just, and I really didn't care. For me, it was just making their jobs easier so they could do what they needed to do. And that's
Right.
why I love working with small business owners, because they have so many hats and so many we're doing so many things.
Mm-hmm.
And as you said before, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And you don't know how much time and money that's costing you. And so
Right.
that's why I love what I do, because I come in, with Oso Brewery, he was doing they're shipping out of state, and he's doing his taxes, and he was actually hand inputting each invoice into the spreadsheet. And I came in and I said, well, let's just take your system that you're using, and we'll make a download, and we'll dump it, and I'll transform it, and it's done in 2 minutes. And he's like, holy shit. you know
Yeah.
he actually said a naughtier word than that one, but it was just like, he goes, you're a genius at this. He's like, why are you bartending? I said, because I love to bartend, that's my social outlet. But
Yeah.
I love doing this as well. It's just a different a different feeling when I know I can help somebody so they can do what they truly love to do, be it spend more time with their family or do what their passion is in business.
Yeah.
And Mark's passion in business is brewing beer. So if he can have more time to do that, and he's saving money because our time is very valuable in our businesses, we're the whole, you know, we do it all, and we're the only one that does it. So if you think about your time, it's an amazing
Yeah.
thing
I mean, our time is
transformation.
our most valuable thing that anybody has because you can never get it back.
Correct. Correct.
Never.
Right.
So that's why, yeah, absolutely. Like even just coming on and doing something like this to get information out to more people, you're
Mm-hmm.
spending half an hour with me to come on and tell people about your experiences and what you've overcome and advice and that kind of stuff. And yeah, you could be doing something else, but taking the time, like that's why I appreciate everyone so much, because our time is the most valuable thing that we have. And that is the number one thing that entrepreneurs struggle with knowing their worth and
Right.
asking and demanding that they get paid for their worth. And that's one of my strongest things when people talk to me about my business. I'm like, listen, this is what I'm worth. I know what I'm worth, and I don't negotiate.
Good for you, because that's been a struggle for me. I mean, I've given myself raises. This mastermind that I'm in, I've actually changed how I do things and given myself raises. When I first started, I was all about the mentality of, okay, it's dollars per hour. Now
Right.
it's outcome for what they receive. And, if I can come into a business and I can save them 10 hours a month, that's huge for them, that they can be
Yeah.
spending more time. And they're going to be saving, besides the 10 hours, they're actually saving money because the processing time is less, and they're more accurate. So they're not fixing mistakes. They're not having to do things over, and it just makes it streamlined. So that's what I really love. And it's taken me a while, and part of it was because of my mindset when I left my ex-husband. I was so negative and low. I didn't think I deserved it. And I had
Right.
that other issue of I'm just lucky to be alive, that I don't deserve anymore. So I've given away tons, and that has stopped pretty
Good.
much. But yeah, there's still certain things that I love to do. I love to volunteer, and I love to
Yeah.
help. And to me, that's what it's all about. So if I can help people do that and live their lives, then I think I'm making a difference the way I can make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a really great thing that I just pulled from this too, is that the giving part. You're very giving about volunteering and stuff, which is important because you know, we get what we give out. So if we get a lot of information, go teach it to someone and show people how to do it. Like what you're doing, this is a strong point for you. That's why it's your business and why you enjoy it, because you got educated on it and you like it and it's numbers and like stuff that you like. Well, entrepreneurs that don't like that, you're able to help them and teach them the skill that it comes naturally to you. You know, you've maybe not naturally, but you've developed it. Yeah, exactly. You've developed the skill that can really help everyone else. So yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. So talking about the fear of jumping ship from everything, was there a certain experience or event that happened with your relationship that you were like, this is it, drawing the line in the sand? Like what compelled you to jump ship from your relationship that was holding you back, and the mindset of all the fear?
You know, to be honest, I really don't remember what the last straw was.
Yeah.
I know it was a Monday morning. I just had made the decision and I said I'm done. I don't I don't remember. I know I was going to leave earlier, like 5 or 6 years
Well,
earlier, and then didn't.
yeah.
And things changed for a little bit, but then they went back to how it was. And I don't really remember what it was that I just finally said, you know what, I can't do this no more.
Yeah.
It was really the feeling of I just wasn't happy. I just wasn't feeling supported emotionally, or and I just wasn't feeling loved. It really is what it was.
Yeah.
And if you're not feeling loved in that respect, I wasn't loving myself either.
Right.
And so it was just, I just finally, I don't actually remember what made
Yeah.
me take the leap, but I just
Okay.
finally said, I have to do this for me.
Yeah. Well, and that's a big point too, is that making the decision, like I said before, I think I mentioned in here, like making that decision for yourself is the getting over the fear part right there. Like just like saying, nope, this is it. I've decided, I'm done. And the fact that you remember it's a Monday, I mean, that's
Mm-hmm.
powerful too, that you remember exactly the day of the week, because you're like, oh, this is the start of my week. Maybe I'm not gonna continue to go in this path. So that's really
Mm-hmm.
kind of cool that you remembered that it was a Monday.
Yeah, I just don't remember
Yeah,
what it actually
just
was.
everything piling up probably, and
Yeah,
it could have
there
been
was
something
many
little.
things, and it's just we had different lifestyles, and I just he a lot of it was
Sorry.
the negativity. We pushed each other's buttons. It was like, oh my God, and so I didn't like that. I'm not a drama person, and we kept getting in arguments, and it was just like I just need out.
Yeah,
And it was probably an argument over the weekend. I don't remember what
probably
exactly it was, but it was just, I just said, I can't do it anymore.
enough's
And
enough.
yeah.
Okay. So what advice would you give the viewers for moving through or overcoming fears?
You first you got to recognize that you have the fear, which is a hard part. You don't really realize that there's things holding you back that you're actually afraid of, because we have so much negativity a lot of times running through our minds, and that's one of the things that you need to somehow to stop. And there's many books out there, but
Yeah.
eh, that can help you. But really, opening your mind to new things. I love to read. I have a book list. I think in the last 5 years, I'm up to almost 1,000 books that I've read. And
Wow.
I listen to them on the iPod. So
Yeah.
I download them from the library and I listen. And and so when I'm driving, when I'm cleaning my house, when I'm walking or exercising, I always have my earbuds in and I'm listening to something. And
Yeah.
some of it's just fun, some of it's lighthearted, but a lot of it's learning. And Jen Sincero has the You Are a Badass series. Didn't you
Yes.
go out to her thing? Was that you?
No,
Somebody.
I've read the books though, or I've
Oh,
read
okay. I thought
How
somebody
to Make
went to
Money.
her event. I can't remember who it
Oh,
was,
I don't
but
know. I would love to hear about it. So if anyone's
yeah,
watching
I thought,
that
oh,
went
okay.
to Jensen
For some
Chero's
reason
event,
I
tell us if
thought,
you've been there.
yeah, no, I have not. I would love to go though. But she has some awesome books, and then there's just some books on self-esteem that I've listened to, and
Yeah.
meditations. And I'm not, I don't feel like I know how to meditate yet, but I'm learning. It's just,
I'm
and I
learning
guess
it
there's
in traditional
no,
ways and non-traditional ways, and it's all
yeah,
good.
yeah,
It's really just about like reflecting and which is a huge thing that everyone does need to do to really like your point of realizing what our fears are. We don't know that unless we reflect on like what makes us uncomfortable and what we like and what we don't like. And yeah, that's a huge point is acknowledging it, but we can't acknowledge it if we don't sit still with ourselves to actually have those thoughts form, like to realize the difference in what we like and who we are and what our values are in our lifestyle,
right.
like you said, the lifestyle that we want or that we're not having that we do want.
Yeah,
So
there was this other one that I did. I've got it. It's a personality test kind of, and it's Sally Hogshead, and it's How to Fascinate, and it has 49 different personality archetypes. And what was kind of interesting, and for me, is it came out that I'm a mystique, which is a innovative person. The provocateur is the name. I'm clever, adept, and contemporary. But my second, there actually were equal. The second one is the secret weapon. And I love that because that's what I feel like I am to a business. I'm their secret
yeah,
weapon. I come in and I help them fix. So it's nimble, unassuming, and independent. And all of those are so me. It was just like opening this, like, oh my God, how do they know me? That's exactly me. And it
that's
was
cool.
just really cool. But just learning more about how to interact with people of different, because we're all different. And even though we're raised as, you know, as they say, two people in the same family raised by the same parents can be completely different
Oh yeah,
because of their life experiences and how
yeah,
what they take away from it and their personalities. And so it's just really learning about all the different ways there are of people and making sure that we um, take our own uniqueness and bring that to light because nobody is like us.
right.
Each of us are our own person, and really, it's taken me a long time to not just try to fit in. It's okay to be me. I can wear my sparkles, and I can wear whatever I want. I don't
Right.
have to conform to somebody else's standard. I'm still very a conservative person in a way, but there are some things that I wear sparkles to work all the time when I bartend, and I wear them all the time. I wear them every day,
Yeah.
and it just makes me feel good. So
Right.
it makes me happy. So it's kind of makes me smile. So it's just something for me that I do that I get comments on, and it's kind of funny. Some people are like, okay, like,
Who you are.
yeah, and I'm like, I don't care. Made you comment. That's all it needed to be. So it's just really embracing who we are and really loving who we are.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that's helped me the most is actually having a business and personal coach to
Yeah.
ask the tough questions because I would have never gotten to where I am today without somebody helping me to draw that out because I just wouldn't, if I would
Well,
have, it would
that's
probably be in another 30 years.
right. I
So,
was just going to say
yeah,
that's the thing. It's not that you would have never got there. You would have got there, but it would have taken you exponentially longer for you not to have that um, outside source to keep growing you and
right.
pulling those hard questions out for you to answer and to actually reflect on and think about it. So I think that is a huge point too, is the personal development mentor or coach that you can have, is that find one that works for you, that can help you move forward, because yeah, that's a huge investment, but it's an investment in yourself and your growth, and you will get there, but it'll take so much longer for us to do it on our own than to help each other as entrepreneurs and people like start growing personally. And if you have a business, that's how you do it, is grow yourself first.
It's not all about the business. It's a lot of our own internal dialogue and our mindset that really holds us back. It's not that we don't know what we do business wise, but it's really
knowing your worth is
out
really
there. Like I finally did my first Facebook Live a couple weeks ago. It's like, oh my God, I've never done one of these. So it was kind of fun. Didn't like my hair. I was out in the, it was like, whatever, but I'm doing this. And, it's just like, it's okay to be me and not worry. And what other people think about us is not our business. And that's so hard for us to, I say it all the time, but every once in a while you still catch yourself going, oh yeah, no, doesn't matter what they think, and just really embracing that and loving that about ourselves, that it's okay to be us, and that we don't have
absolutely. We need you to be you. There's no one like you, and we need you to be you and show up as you are and who you are and who you're created to be. Because if you're not showing up who you are created to be or working to be, then your world is going to go without you. And you're there for a reason. We need you there in that space for a reason. So that's a huge point. So now that you have your tools, you're filling your mind with those positive books that you're reading and all of that, and you have a great support system, you're living your life more fearlessly in that way. So where do you see yourself in the next 5 years with all the progression that you've already started to make?
I'm actually taking action steps this weekend. I've actually really started finally. I'm like, okay, I'm setting up my marketing and getting things going. I'm working on my website right now and doing some things. But in 5 years, what I really want to be doing is talking in front of large groups of small business owners and entrepreneurs and really teaching them. My talk is expose your wasted time and lost profits, and really teaching them some ways that they're losing time and money that they don't really realize they're doing it because they don't know what they don't know. So back to where we came from to begin with, it's we don't know that we don't know these things. And one of my main tools,
them, right? You kind of
exactly
create it yourself.
I'm sorry. One of my main tools that I use is Microsoft Excel. And most people that use Microsoft Excel think they really know it. And I'm sorry to say that if they know 30%, they're doing well. There's so many more things that Excel can do that people don't realize. And you can automate things and have it do it for you. And that's where the real power is. That you're not having to, I create programs for people. They come in and click a button and it does a whole transformation for them. And what could take them 5 minutes, or I've done things that have taken people hours to do, and it's done within 5 minutes.
Right.
And it's a powerful tool, or just even having fresh eyes on a situation, because you always hear when you go into a company or a client's office or a business that we've always done it this way. And for me, that's one of the biggest red flags I have ever seen. It's like, if we've always done it this way, to me, that means there's a better way to do this. Come on, people. We don't have the time. We don't have the time to figure it out, nor do we have the knowledge to figure it out. And so they don't see how to do that. And that's what I love to do, is I come in and I look at what they're doing, and I'm like, okay, if we do this, it's not a huge change for you. I don't usually come in and revamp everything. That's not me. I come in and I make some small changes to it and create these huge results for companies. And they just, one client I worked with, they were doing some work, and it was in the medical field. And I said, well, isn't there a government test number, or, all these tests have codes so they can bill the insurance and they do whatever. And he's like, yeah. He said, why don't you make the hospitals give you that number? Because he was manually matching data. And he said it was
Oh,
taking him 3 days because there's like 200,000 lines plus,
right. Oh,
He's like, okay. So the next one, he got that number and it was done within 5 minutes, so 3 days
yeah.
worth of work that he was
Fresh eyes.
taking. Yeah. And that's what it is. It's really just a different point of view of somebody being, I'm very detail oriented, but I also
Yeah.
see the huge picture, and I can look out, and I know that what this little change over here is going to do, I know what it's going to do to the
Yeah.
other departments and how that affects, because I've worked in it
It
and
all
I've
trickled
lived
down.
it. Yeah. So it's
Awesome.
and most people don't have both. They don't have the big picture and the details, and I
Yes.
do. And so
Right.
that's a really cool tool that I have in my box that I can use and really help companies grow.
Awesome. Very cool. So where can everyone connect with you?
Well, I'm out on Facebook at Excelling Your Business LLC, and it's excelling with only one L. I know everybody tells me I spell it wrong, but it's a play off of Microsoft Excel, and there's only one L. So that's
Yes.
why I use that. And I'm also out on LinkedIn, and I'm under Tina Palmgren as well. You can look up either way. And my website is under construction, but it'll be up shortly. And I have all three. So
Very good. Well,
thank you.
thank you so much for your time, Tina. I want to just say thank you again and for sharing more of your knowledge. And if anyone's watching and they need to learn more about Excel or just want to reach out and connect with Tina about anything that she's mentioned on her story, please do so. She's such a sweetheart and she's very knowledgeable. So thank you. And remember to love yourself and live fearlessly, everyone. Thank you, Tina.
Exactly. Thank you, Becky. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.